Oi, gente, tudo bom? Finalmente hoje a gente vai responder todas as perguntas que vocês fizeram nos vídeos.
Hello! Hello!
Oi, gente, tudo bom? Finalmente hoje a gente está fazendo esse vídeo tão esperado, respondendo as perguntas daquele vídeo que a gente fez sobre o lixo, sobre o desperdício de lixo. E hoje eu tenho aqui o Sebastião comigo. Finalmente a gente conseguiu gravar esse vídeo, que por causa desse momento que a gente está vivendo, estava difícil a gente encontrar e gravar. Então hoje a gente vai responder todas as perguntas dele, na verdade, né? Porque ele está mais por dentro. Sebastião, dá um oi. Say hi.
Hi, good to meet you.
Então vamos lá. A gente colocou algumas perguntas que foram feitas tanto no vídeo do lixo quanto o outro que foi aquele vídeo dos haters. E eu vou colocar aqui nos cards se vocês estão perdidos e perderam o que aconteceu, a confusão toda, o vídeo sobre o lixo, desperdício, o vídeo dos haters e a parte 2 também vou colocar tudo aqui. Primeira pergunta foi da SDS Mônica. E ela tá perguntando, ela começou falando, né, que realmente, infelizmente, muitas pessoas realmente tomam essa postura de sair do país e achar que são melhores que os outros, né, isso foi mais no vídeo dos haters mesmo. E ela perguntou se a gente pensou em apagar o vídeo, né, por vergonha ou por medo, alguma coisa assim.
No, not at all. For me, it's a hobby. I like that hobby. People who are my friends, people who I work with, in the circles I live in, people find it normal, so I don't really care what other people think about it.
Ok, great. A segunda se existe uma multa para quem for pego retirando os alimentos do lixo. Quem fez essa pergunta foi Raquel Gutierrez.
Yeah, actually there's quite heavy fines. In 2019, I think 2 people got charged for heavy theft. They got 2 years on probation, which is really, really, really bad if you have an entry in your police records. And some years before, people were charged with 60 hours community work, but most of the time the supermarkets need to be interested in suing you to bring it to bring the case to the court. And
it's not like another person, like I can sue.
No, I mean it's their property which I'm stealing. It's up to them if they want to see me charged. And most of the times the supermarkets don't have the interest to make a big public thing out of that, because most people support that the food is being taken out of the rubbish bins. Ok. Lilian BF Duarte está perguntando se os alimentos estavam com data de validade expirada, né? Ou se estava próximo disso. E ela perguntou também sobre a questão dos brasileiros, que a gente falou que a gente colocou o vídeo num grupo de brasileiros, os brasileiros que vieram falando tanto de coisa errado e criticando, né? Mas de uma maneira ruim, assim, sem ser aquela crítica construtiva, mas mesmo insultando a gente. E ela perguntou se isso é uma coisa, se a gente acha que é uma coisa porque isso é uma imagem tipo negativa que traria para os brasileiros, né? There are 2 different dates in Germany. One is the expiry date and then one is the Mindesthaltbarkeitsdatum. What? And that means at least durable until. And at least durable until is it's up to the company what they write on it. So with this date they guarantee pure freshness, the same taste than it was when it was packed, the same smell, the same look. So it's just a recommendation, basically. So most foods can still be sold afterwards, even legally, and of course it can be eaten afterwards. So there's not really a health issue with, for example, yogurt, which can be eaten months after this date.
Okay. And about what do you think about the things that we said that a lot of Brazilians in the community were like insulting and say other things? Like, why do you think like especially like the Brazilians or the people that are not from Germany, they are immigrants, like they don't agree with that? Or
I think it's also as a person who immigrated, you had to fight very hard for your status. Germans don't make it always easy for immigrants, so I think maybe it's also a matter of a little bit pride, like how can someone else go on such a low level to take rubbish from a supermarket, to dive in the rubbish. So I think it's a different perspective from a person for me, who comes from a middle class family, who had always good opportunities and easy life. For me, I have a different view on that than people who have fought their way into a new community, into a new country. So,
okay. So maybe even something like I was in Brazil, I was like having a lot of difficulties, and now I'm in Germany, and why I should like take the trash, like now that I'm better, like status, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's not about I'm better, but it's just a different
view
that
like status or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think this views develop through the hard process of inclusion in a new country. And also, a lot of people who haven't done it themselves, they don't know how easy and fresh the food is, and how easy it can be taken out of the rubbish bin. Like when an Indonesian person or an Argentinian person maybe thinks about rubbish, they think there's a lot of disgusting things inside the rubbish, but that's not the case. There's some paper and the food. So sometimes you just have to take out the bag and take it home. Like it's covered in plastic, and it's like shopping almost.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that you do for prevention of the waste?
Well, for me, I think I haven't thrown food away for a long time, because I always live in shared houses, so we can share with people the food we don't want to eat ourselves. And I only go shopping every now and when I need it. Like I'm hungry today, so I go and buy something today.
Or when you want something special.
Or when I want something special, and then in my city it's very easy to get the food out of the rubbish. So when my fridge is empty, I go again to the rubbish bin.
Nice. Okay, you were expecting that it was like such the polemic, this video? Like
in Germany it wouldn't be a big subject, because there are like a lot of videos, I guess, about this, and it's quite normal, everybody knows about it. But I can expect that in Brazil it's pretty uncommon. So
people could be more shocked.
Yeah, it's a bit they didn't expect maybe that in Germany quite a lot of people do that. So
okay. Did you ever find something that is curious or very different, or surprised or something?
It's always a little bit like a lottery. Like you go and you can't wait to see what's in the rubbish bin this time. So I've never found something extremely expensive or unusual, but sometimes you find this extremely expensive piece of cheese, which would cost like 20 euro for 100 gram. Another time you find taps for the dishwasher, and again on another day I found like 60 packages of cheese, which were still good for a couple of days, and so I brought all of my friends some cheese. So it's always a bit like a lucky draw, always exciting.
Nice.
That's why I enjoy this kind. It got my hobby. You meet people there again and again, the same people, and it's always a bit of a excitement.
Nice. Ok, a Angela Guiar, ela perguntou se a gente acha que essa repulsa do vídeo, né, dessa parte dos haters, é pelo fato de ser uma cultura não muito conhecida no Brasil.
I think reputation and status is in some milieus or countries maybe more important than in Germany. I have no idea. Like that could be an issue. Or I come from a middle class family, so I can't really lose my status because of going into the rubbish. For me, I would even say people admire that in the areas where I live. So I have nothing to lose from that. And I guess in other countries that's, for example, when I lived in Cambodia, people would look down on that because they connect things with looking in the rubbish. For example, you can't afford the food, or
like normally, usually really poor people that do that.
yeah, they would think you bring yourself on the level of a very poor person, but
and sometimes you even doesn't
even
need it.
yeah, I mean,
you don't need it.
I don't look down on poor people, so I wouldn't even have a problem with being considered a poor person. So I don't really mind, of course.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell why people get upset about it. But in my shared houses where I lived, we had in my second last shared house, we had one fridge only for my container food, because and everything always I put the food in there, and every single housemate, we were 5 people, took things from that fridge. So I think most people don't mind about it. Some people mind about going into the rubbish bin themselves, but later they will. All of my friends would eat it.
Yeah. I think also like that a lot of people, for example, just see like the title or starts to see it, it doesn't understand like why you do that, and then they just start like to say to do some comments, because even they say like sometimes like you don't need it, why are you doing that, like you know, like you're not poor, why you would low.
Exactly, and they don't know, it's fun, it's socializing, you meet the same nice people again, and in the end this food would be thrown away. In Berlin, for example, probably not, because there's a lot of people doing it, but in the city I live, the food most of the time would end up in the rubbish, and nobody would take it.
You're not taking the food from other people, like from other poor people.
Exactly, I'm saving food, and it's fun. Like it's really fun to see. Okay, this time I found this and this food. What can I make from that this time? What can I cook from that? So it's always a bit. It brings change and fun into my life. It's really a hobby.
And you're doing a nice thing for the world.
Yeah, now I might move to a big city, and I really will miss it.
Yeah.
And of course, in a big city, I would feel bad doing it, because I would probably take the food from other people away.
Yeah.
But in a small town like where I have been living now, I would always do that again.
Nice. A Elisângela perguntou se isso é comum, se todo mundo faz isso que ele está fazendo, tipo pegar o lixo, né? Se é comum na Alemanha.
Like if you, for example, ask social work students or students who study a social subject, most of them know someone who does it, or a lot of people have done it at least once or a couple of times. But it depends again on the milieu. If you ask economy students, they don't really know anyone who has done it. But it really depends in which circles you live. Okay. But a lot of people do it. It's quite common, especially in the big cities. There's a huge competition.
But even the people that you said that they don't do it, like for example the people from economy, but they know that it happens. They wouldn't be.
No, everybody knows.
I didn't know that this happens.
It has been in the public media for quite a while, because it's illegal in Germany, and a lot of people don't want to see that to be illegal anymore. A lot of people are working on that, but unfortunately until now it's still illegal.
Okay. A Ana Emídio perguntou se ele conhece algum tipo de política pública em algum lugar do mundo que seja eficaz com o combate ou redirecionamento do desperdício.
Yeah, France is really advanced in this matter. They forbid to throw food away, and there are quite high fines, but they also support the companies, the markets who donate the food. They get also a tax reduction, or they can say they get support.
So it's mandatory to donate, but then you get reduction.
You get some reductions. Yeah.
Okay, great, that's cool.
But I would say in Germany we really need this as well, because 1/3 of all the food which is being produced ends up already on the farm, because it doesn't look good enough, or it ends up in the rubbish bins of the supermarkets or in the private homes. Like only 1/3 of the produced food actually ends up in our mouth, in our stomach. So there should be really more strict laws. And when you consider that, like the recommendation date, like best durable until, if it would be just like 2 days, they would extend it for 2 days. It would already save tons of food. because people throw it away because of that date. Because a lot of Germans don't understand as well that this is just a recommendation.
Okay. And you said about this law in France, but what about usually in other countries like in Europe? It's already it's also forbidden to.
No, in many countries it's not prohibited. Of course, everywhere it's the same problem, like going on the property of someone else and climbing a fence. That's in every country, of course, not allowed. But in most countries like Austria or Switzerland, it's allowed to take the food. Because if you throw something in the rubbish, it's not considered, it's not, you're implying that you don't need this anymore. So it belongs to no one as soon as you throw it in the rubbish. But in Germany it's still considered your property. So you can be charged for theft, heavy theft even, and for going unallowed on someone else's property.
Ok, that's sad. A Odete Deta perguntou se não é perigoso comer comida do lixo.
I know it's not dangerous at all, because the supermarkets throw it away as soon as the durable at least until date is, which is just a recommendation date by the company, is reached. So very often you just have to look or dive for the rubbish bag, and in the rubbish bag you find all the food, because the workers in the market, they will go through the fridges and throw everything in one bag, and this bag ends up in the rubbish bin. So it's basically like shopping, and I would have paid 3 hours before, I would have paid for that. And at the same time, again, it's just a recommendation date by the company, and it's perfectly fine to eat it days, weeks, and something even a year afterwards. So again, this date is absolutely just a recommendation.
And you said that there is even like people that sell it in the internet?
Exactly. When you look on eBay, you will. I have done that sometimes, especially buying sweets which are outdated, and sometimes the chocolate, the chips are like 6-8 months or even longer than that. They're over the date, over the durable date, and people buy it and spend money for it. So it's legal. It's legal if it's not stuff like which is rotting quite fast, like fish, of course, or eggs. It's not allowed. But chocolate, chips, all kinds of sweets, it's allowed to sell it even like months after.
Nice. Eu vou até contar uma coisa que quando ele já me deu de presente uma vez perto da Páscoa, eu acho que foi tipo, ele comprou uns Papais Noel, sabe? Tipo, chocolate de Papai Noel, me deu uma caixa com milhões de Papai Noel, tipo, meses depois que ele comprou no eBay super barato. I'm talking about the Santa Claus that you bought for me, the chocolate. That was a lot, like a big box with a lot. E era do Lindt, tá, gente? Tipo, bem bom. Disney e outros lugares incríveis perguntou se o crime é só pegar comida ou tipo revirar o lixo também é crime.
First of all, like I said, the theft is the crime, so you can be charged for theft, and going on the property of someone else's, someone else's property is also a crime if you're not invited. So actually, you can be charged for these two crimes. And of course, some people, they break the rubbish bins open. This would be the third crime, because you're actually causing a damage. So, but I have never done that. I only go to bins which are open already and easily accessible. I don't climb any fences. I just go to the markets where the bin is in front of the market and I can just open it.
Ok. SDS Mônica perguntou se pode lavar ovo e perguntou se não dá salmonela.
This is a good thing. I always find eggs, because if one egg in the whole package breaks, they will throw all of the eggs away. So after that, you just clean it and with hot water, and of course the egg is naturally packed by its shell, so it's absolutely fine. And eggs are also can be eaten up to 2.5 weeks after the durable date. So
interesting.
it should be fine.
Enquanto elas crescem, perguntou se os alimentos têm que ficar na geladeira para não ficar estragado, e perguntou também sobre a data de validade, que a gente já respondeu.
No, like I found some pumpkin, like cans with pumpkin, and of course it's a can, and I was able to eat them like months after. Totally delicious. And bananas I always find, of course I don't put them in the fridge because I eat them within 2 days. So some things I have to put in the fridge.
But normally,
the same like when I go shopping.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I see the bananas are a little bit too brown already, or the apple a little bit, then I put them, if there's still space in the fridge, I will put them in the fridge.
Ok. A Danusa Miley perguntou se... perguntou a mesma coisa com a questão de estar vencido, a gente já respondeu. E perguntou se não está vencido, por que as pessoas jogam no lixo, porque eles não fazem doação.
These are just my speculations, my thoughts on that. I'm not sure if that's true. But I think, for example, businesses that don't throw too much away, like the supermarket where I go, maybe it causes more work to actually cooperate with a social institution. So they have to pick it up, they have to call them, or like the whole process maybe might be too much work for them. That's my only speculation. Because a lot of supermarkets do cooperate with social institutions, but apparently not all.
So is there any supermarket like in Germany that usually they donate?
A lot of them do that. For Aldi I know it for sure, but others as well. I don't want to say wrong names, but it's not uncommon.
Okay, it was the last one. Do you want to say something else? Or?
No, I think also when doing this thing together with a group in your shared house, saving the food, it also brings it has a little bit of an educational process, because you see how much is being thrown away, you talk about it, you talk with other people about it, other people see that you do it, so people are getting more aware on how much is being thrown away, and what they see in the rubbish bin of the supermarket is just a very tiny little bit of what is actually thrown away.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice activity together, it's something good to do, as long as you don't take it from people away who need it, of course, more than you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can just say everyone should try it once before you talk bad about it.
Yeah, that's true. É isso, gente. Esse vídeo a gente foi mais para responder essas questões, e é isso que a gente falou, né? Ele falou, não é questão de uma necessidade, é mais uma questão de uma causa. E com certeza, se a gente estivesse num lugar, se ele fosse em Berlim, por exemplo, que ele falou que tem tanta gente que precisa, que é pobre, ele ia até ficar envergonhado de chegar e pegar, sendo que outras pessoas precisam. Então, na verdade, a gente não tá pegando comida de ninguém pobre, é realmente as coisas que vão ser jogadas fora mesmo. Então, espero que tenha sido esclarecedor. E se tiverem alguma outra dúvida, também pode colocar aqui que a gente responde nos comentários. E a gente espera fazer mais vídeos para vocês com esse tipo de tema interessante. Muito obrigada por assistir esse vídeo. Não esquece de se inscrever aqui no canal. Não esquece de ativar as notificações. É muito importante pra gente a inscrição de vocês, pra gente poder continuar trazendo esse tipo de assunto que é super importante. Dá um like aqui pra gente. Não esquece de seguir a gente nas redes sociais, Pro Mundo Menor, Bárbara Doro. Entra no nosso site também, promundomenor.com.br. Lá a gente escreve várias coisas sobre viagem, a gente posta várias coisas, posta todos os vídeos também lá. E eu te vejo no próximo vídeo. Obrigada. Tchau.
Tchau. Auf Wiedersehen.
What?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Vai ser.
See you again.
You should say something more first.
I don't know any more reason. Adios.
Eu não vou colocar isso no vídeo. Because it's our scenery.
But this is not scenery, it's like an empty, there's no picture in it.
It is, there is a simple. Put it back.
Oh, it's serious. Okay, we leave it.
Então, gente, obrigada por assistir esse. Forte! We don't have time. Então, obrigada por assistir esse vídeo. Sebastian! Difficult!